welcome to another episode of Pedagogy Pods. And yes, our cushion is back. Yeah, we're very fond of
missing it.
Yeah, it's strategically being placed over there. Why? Because I think it just brings us together for this conversation, and it also reflects the way we just sit and talk. So, what are we talking about today?
You talked about now that it's strategically placed. So I would say something maybe linked to strategies.
Interesting. Okay, actually, we could do that. So, Meenakshi, let's talk about the strategies that teachers use in class. So, they say that strategies can actually make learning more engaging and help students think better and deeper. So, that's the thought that we are taking today, and we're going to talk about strategies. What do we mean by strategies? The simplest strategy that I can think of is KWLs. The KWLs, all of you know about. What do you already know? What do you want to learn? And what have you already learned, right? What strategies do you know, Meenakshi? Let's just throw a few strategies here and then talk about them.
Think, pair and share is a strategy.
Think, pair and share. See, wonder, question.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1.
Nice. Claim, support, evidence.
Flipped classroom.
Okay, wow. Okay,
Strategy.
let me try one or two more. One sec. Okay. Ponder and pour.
Yeah.
More.
I think I'll remember when we'll talk about it.
I tell you what.
5 W's and 1 H.
Exactly. 5 W's and an H. And a H. I don't know why do I call it an H. So another one very similar to that would be some claim questions, some creative questions, and many more. So you get the clue.
Making a mind map.
Make a mind map. So you get the clue. We are going to talk about a lot of ways in which you can initiate or ignite thinking. So I have a few cards lying over here, and the first question, I'm not sure if you can read it, but the question over here says, what do you think has changed? So around us, things are changing, the world is changing at a pace that it's tough to keep pace with. So if I were to ask you, and if I was sitting with you, and if I simply just ask you, what do you think has changed? It's such a vague way of asking,
question,
right?
Yes.
What will be your response?
I think I need a topic for that.
Yeah.
What do you think will change about technology? Maybe AI, maybe reading things.
Yeah. See, now she started thinking in that direction because the question was right. Right?
Yeah.
Now if I tell you, okay, Meenakshi, ponder and then pour, okay? Which means I'm inviting you to think. Ponder and then pour, and tell me, think and make a note about the changes around you that redefine a school's vision, okay? And then let's share. So that's what ponder and pour. I'll repeat.
Redefine a school's.
Redefine a school's vision. What are the changes around us that can help redefine school's vision?
Yeah, let me ponder.
Yeah,
Then I'll go.
absolutely. Yeah. So to help her ponder, once again, I'm giving her time to ponder. This is basically a group activity where probably 2, 3, or 4 heads are put together to ponder and then pour together. Go for it.
So, first thing is use of technology.
Okay, that has changed, definitely.
Second thing, introduction of AI. And third thing is impact of social media
Excellent.
on students.
Excellent.
So, schools need to change their vision according to these points.
So what if we were to actually do away with the chairs and the tables in our classroom, the books and the pens and the pencils, and let's bring in technology and only technology? What if we were not technology driven, but technology driving us in the classroom? What do you think will change?
Oh, it will make major changes in the classroom environment. Children will be more. There will be no sitting arrangements like we do now. So there will be seating arrangements according to the laptops or mobiles they are having. Maybe teacher is also in a different
zone, and you don't know what is my role anymore because there's technology all over. You're so right. And you know what we did? We used 2 strategies here. So, actually 3. We gave her a question to ponder upon. Then I asked her to ponder and pour. That was strategy 2. And the third one, I said, what if? So these kind of situations, if you try and talk to somebody and tell your students these kind of strategies just help ignite thinking. She went into this thinking mode, and she went into this panic and chaos in her mind that what if it will want technology?
Yes. That was a difficult question. Even it took me a while to think about it.
Exactly. It is about taking that while to think about
it. And I think that is a major skill which we want to develop in our students, to think, to ponder over the critical thinkings. I think those skills are all being taken care of in this.
Exactly. The 21st century skills that we always talk about, simple questions, thought-provoking sentence starters like what if, just get deeper.
And I remember those strategy cards which we used to make for our workshops, training workshops. They used to bring so much of thought process in the workshop rooms. So same, I think it will bring in the classrooms also.
Exactly. Another exercise that I did along with this to help everybody think was present and future. So tell me what's around you right now, look around you, think about it, and then tell me what will your future look like. So this is another step. So present and future, a comparison, or you would call it, yesterday, today, tomorrow. So we just called it simple present and future. And we said, let's discuss what learning experiences do you wish to provide your students. And we said,
but do we need to define some years?
No, present,
future, 5 years in future?
It's up to you. Honestly,
it's up to you.
How the way the things are changing around us, it's very difficult to actually think about the 5 years. Come to think of it, you would actually, you would say a few months,
a year. New thing is coming in the education sector. I think this is the most fast changing scenario now.
The whole idea, I think you put it beautifully there. How many years? That's a very valid question that the students will ask. Ma'am, how many years into future, right? So what we would say is draw a roadmap. Go from present towards the future. If you see, this actually is twisting you towards this side. This is a clue enough to say this stays and you do what you do. And you take all of that to turn and move forward along with your present, right? What changes will you make is the twist that signifies it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So every piece that goes into this graphic is well thought of, and there's a lot of idea that goes behind design.
And we can combine it with many topics.
Yeah.
For example, reading in present and reading in future.
Yeah, exactly.
The things library, present library and future libraries.
Oh wow.
So,
that's interesting.
So there are many thought processes which can come in every subject. We can take it forward, and we can make students think more about it.
Yeah. Just like you said 3, 2, 1. So what's 3, 2, 1?
3 to 1 is when we teach some topic and we want to assess our students in a very informal way. We ask them after teaching a chapter, maybe we can ask 3 questions, 3 things you understood now better. 2 things you want to understand more about the topic. And 1 thing you liked most about teaching this topic. Maybe, and we can use it in different ways.
So another way that I used to use in my class was, I used to think and now I think. So it's like a change. I used to think that all trees are green.
Okay.
But then I realized that the color of the tree really depends on many factors, and additionally it also depends on the seasons. So there are many things that come together to make a color of the tree, and all trees are not green in color, right? So that's something I used to think, and now I think.
And sometimes it depends on the person's mood also. Sometimes you think differently when you are in a. For example, if we talk about the sun is shining very brightly today. It's very hot today. Depends on many things.
Are you feeling hot? Is the fan on or not? Is there an AC in the room? That's why you're hot? Is everybody in the room hot? Or is it just me who's feeling hot?
Or there are many people in the room?
Exactly.
It makes a difference.
True. Too many people in the room.
It's all about provoking that thinking.
Very true. Very true. And there's another one. Just the way, I mean, you just got me there. And I think see, wonder, think, and question are four things that are used widely by, especially by STEM learning teachers, right? Also, our art teacher used to do that. So she would place a piece over there to say, it was like made out of clay, and somebody would have just shaped some shape which did not really make sense. She would put it on the top of the table to say, see, wonder, think, and question.
And question.
Yeah. See what are you looking at, and children will go on guessing. Maybe it's a ball, but it got distorted because it's round in shape. Okay. Think about what do you think it can, it would be used for. Probably, in olden times, children did not have rubber balls or other balls, clay balls. So they used to make balls out of clay. Yeah, and play. And then you start
Even
wondering.
with clothes.
Even with clothes. No, but then you start wondering about that piece. But with a clay ball, can you really play? Will it roll? Can you bounce it? So there are questions that start coming in. And you have all the four pieces put together. You got students thinking about this random piece which was made by a student, and you say, here's a piece from history and it was dug.
And another thing is we sometimes take an object and we ask, what else are the uses of this?
Yeah.
For example, there is a stick.
Yeah.
How can you use this stick in a different? Somebody will say to scare the dog.
Yeah.
Somebody will say that to switch off the fan.
Yeah.
Or somebody will say to do some exercises.
Yeah.
So different uses of a thing also create so much of thought process.
Yeah, so beautiful. So we used to do something like this. We used to say, so you would pick up like something and put it in front of students. Like once again, it was a feather of a bird. Actually no, it was a spine of a porcupine. Okay.
Oh.
And it was put, and students were asked to sing 5 W's and a how. What do you think it is? Where do you think it came from? Why do you think it is here? Where do you think anyone found it and brought it here? How do you think it can be used? So children wrote different things. One of the child, I still remember, wrote that maybe this is an ancient pen, and the peacock feather, and you can fill ink in it and you can write with it.
Yeah, and
I mean, just imagine it's a different thing.
You can't even imagine that somebody will think like that.
Exactly. There is no particular subject at play. It actually fluidifies the boundaries of subject areas, and it dwells into a very different direction.
And sometimes we go to a classroom and simple things like that imagine students, we are teaching a chapter on some cricketer, and then I go to the classroom and ask students that imagine me or one of your friend is a famous cricketer.
Yeah.
Oh, that eyes lighten up with that because they love cricketers.
Yeah.
So I will ask them to write some. There is a interview. You are taking an interview of that cricketer. So 5 questions you will ask from that cricketer. Students love this activity.
Yeah.
This is also can come into a strategy.
Let's do it. Let's do this right now. So we both are supposed to design questions to ask to a cricketer. What is it that we will, write, or what is it that we are going to ask him when, let's say, Kapil Dev comes to visit us, right? So my question would start with, if your name weren't Kapil Dev, what would it be?
And my question will start with, if you would not have been a cricketer, what would you be?
Exactly. What if you were good at both basketball and cricket? What would you choose?
And my question will be, how do you feel when you lose a match?
Yeah, and mine would be, now that you have so many awards with you, do you really are you always still excited to get more awards, or are you like happy and satisfied? So you see, the conversation just built up. We want to know his thoughts, his perspectives, his feelings, and how another way we used to,
it's a very simple strategy.
It's very simple strategy.
I think we all use it in the classes for a long time, but it's a strategy, and that's very useful.
And you know what? If you want to engage everybody, the problem is the large numbers in the classroom. So if you want to engage everybody, then you can create circles of viewpoints.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we used to do is create smaller circles of 4, 5, 6 people, not more than that. Have a circle of viewpoints. Let's say Kapil Dev is coming, and some children are excited, some are not. it's all right if you're not excited about
Excited
it, right?
about
Maybe
it,
you're
and
not-
sometimes we can ask each one to write one question and then come as a group.
Yeah, come and talk about it. So
You have to design it according to your classroom,
Yeah.
according to your subject, according to your topic.
Correct.
So you have to design it that way.
Yeah, keeping at heart the student and the way you can make that student think. Now, did you see our conversation started from almost nowhere? And I don't know where have we taken our conversation, and that is because today we both had agreed that we are going to talk about some of the strategies and make thinking visible. So it's a Project Zero. I'll again leave the link with you for you to explore further. But Project Zero, making thinking visible, is a beautiful way to bring thinking into your classroom and make students thinking visible.
Make classrooms alive.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Let them learn.
Let them
And
learn.
let them get engaged and immersed in learning.
Yeah.
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 Awesome talking to you all and to you too. Thank you so much,
Thank
everybody.
you so much.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye bye.